It's coming up to Christmas and a lot of people are thinking about buying someone a Quest 2 VR system. In this video, I'll go over all the basic things you need to know, including what it is, what you need, games, accessories, and why it might not be for you. Hello and welcome back to the VRCauldron for your slice of virtual reality and cool technology. If that sounds good, then hit the subscribe button and ding the bell so you don't miss a video. So, I did actually make a similar video to this last year, and well, a lot has changed since then. We have new accessories, new devices, and even a new name.
Meta.
So I'm going to keep it fairly basic, and if I miss anything glaring, feel free to ask in the comments. I'm not going to try and convince you to buy a Quest in this video, I'm just letting you know what you need to know. But first, if you do end up buying a Quest 2, then you should definitely check out the sponsors of this video, Kiwi Design, kings of VR accessories for the Quest 2. Their headline acts are most definitely the amazing Kiwi Pro grips that protect and help you grip your controllers with a silicone sleeve, but offer the convenience of easy battery access, so you don't have to take it all off when you come to swap your batteries. They also make the super strong alternative to the official Elite strap. Seriously, their Elite strap is super comfortable and isn't going to break as easy as the one from Oculus. They also make a super comfortable facial interface and many other accessories for the Quest 2 and other VR headsets. Check them out with the link below and get there soon, because right now they're offering 30% off everything. And you can win some Kiwi Quest 2 accessories by checking out the latest tech video. So back to the guide, which I've split into roughly 10 parts. So part 1, what is it? So let's first talk about what it actually is. The Oculus Quest 2 is a standalone virtual reality, or VR for short, headset, which means you strap it onto your face and your eyes look through lenses which are in front of an LCD screen. What this does is make the images on the screen look like a real life environment, and because cameras on the outside of the Quest are constantly tracking the area around you, you can actually walk around in real life and you'll be walking around in virtual reality too. You don't have to walk around though, as you can also move around in VR by using the controllers that come with the headset. In essence, the Quest 2 is just a console, just like an Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo Switch, only all the programs and games are in VR, so rather than seeing games play out in front of you on a screen, you actually feel like you're inside the game. So you can watch movies on a giant cinema screen. If you're driving, you'll feel like you're really in a car. If you're playing a first-person shooter, you'll actually have to raise the gun and it will feel like you're really having to shoot someone. Part 2, what are the other budget VR options? Well, the Quest 2 is pretty much the only real option when it comes to cheap but good VR. The other VR headsets require a beefy PC to run it, which costs around £1,000 at least. There's also the PSVR, the one from PlayStation, but that needs a PS4 or a PS5 to run that, and it's pretty old now, and it's going to get replaced at some point in the future. The other budget options are the plastic things that you can slot your phone into. Some fun can be had with those, and they make good stocking fillers, but generally they give people a bad impression of VR. So being a VR channel, I'm not going to recommend those. So really, if you want to get someone a VR console without breaking the bank, the Quest 2 is your only viable option. If you think there's a better option for a similar price, do let us know in the comments. So I'll repeat here, the Quest 2 does not need a separate computer to run it, but it can be plugged into a PC to play loads more games, but more on that later. So 3, what do you need? So what else do you need in order to play with and use your Quest 2 when you take it out of the box? Well, one thing you definitely need right now is a Facebook account. And this is one of the reasons that some people have been put off buying one. But if you're okay with having a Facebook account, then you are good to go. Now let's say you want to buy one for your husband, but they don't have a Facebook account. You can sign him up using your Facebook account, then they will get a separate VR account that doesn't have to interact with your Facebook account at all. It can have different username, and no VR friends will know your Facebook activity, and no Facebook friends will need to know your husband's VR activity. The interaction of the two accounts is all accessible in the settings on the Quest. By the way, with Facebook becoming Meta, they are planning on removing the Facebook account requirement sometime in the future, but we don't exactly know when yet. As soon as I know though, I'll post something in the comments below. You will need a smartphone though that you need to download the Oculus app, as it's currently called. Bear in mind with the name change with Facebook and Meta, they might rename that to the Meta app. But this is what lets you set up the Quest, and you can buy games from the app, or you can buy them from the inside of the headset. Once the Quest is set up though, you rarely need to use the phone, so if you're going to use your phone to set it up for your kids, for example, you can be happy in the knowledge that they won't constantly need your phone. You'll also want a Wi-Fi connection in order to download games and play multiplayer games. You don't need amazing Wi-Fi to download and play single player games, of which there are many, but if you do play multiplayer online games, then just like with an Xbox or a PS4, a good Wi-Fi connection will help a lot. 4. Which version to buy? Well, you might have seen that the Quest 2 sells at 2 price points, £299 or dollars, or $399. The only difference between the two is that the $299 version comes with 128 gigs of internal storage and the $399 version comes with 256 gigabytes. You can totally get by just having the 128 gig version. The smaller version used to be 64 gigabytes, so it's nice that now if you're buying for $299, now you're getting twice the disk space as you would have this time last year. 5. Where do you buy it? Well, I bought mine direct from Oculus. Amazon is great too, especially if you have Prime, and feel free to buy it using my affiliate links down below in the description. But it doesn't really matter where you get it from, just choose somewhere that you trust and make sure that they've got an easy return policy just in case anything goes wrong. They pretty much always cost the same price no matter where you shop. 6. Accessories. Now let's talk accessories. So like I said at the start, you don't technically need any accessories. You can play absolutely fine without them. Also remember, if you are buying for someone else, people do enjoy being able to choose their own accessories, so you could just give them the money to do so rather than worrying about it yourself, or just let them buy their own since you've just spent 300 quid on them. I'm not going to talk too much about accessories, as I really think they should be bought after the user has actually experienced the Quest and decided what they need. The only accessories I would say should be bought pretty fast are lens protectors if the user wears glasses, since you don't want them to scratch the lenses of the Quest. Then maybe a few protective items such as a plastic shell from AMVR. That's not totally necessary, but I have punched the headset a few times and headbutting a TV isn't actually unheard of.
He did?
Then to protect the controllers, Kiwi Design make my personal favourite controller covers, which will protect the entirety of the controller, including the plastic ring around the top, which is very important since it allows your hands to get tracked in VR. That's where the sensors are. Their controller covers are absolutely brilliant, and unlike different straps for the Quest, which can vary in comfort depending on people's head sizes, these grips are pretty much brilliant for everyone, and they even do a larger size if you're buying for someone with big hands. They both protect the controllers and make using them a lot more comfortable. Pretty much everything else like straps, cases, earphones, facial interfaces and extra battery power depends on what the user needs, so just send them over to this channel once they have the headset, or visit yourself if it's for you, so they can decide what extra accessories to buy in their own time. I talk a little more about accessories regarding glasses, and also if you heard about people getting rashes, towards the end of the video. Part 7. Games. Now moving on to games, and there are so many great games you can get for the Quest right now. I've made a separate video dedicated to which games you should buy first, and there are loads of brilliant games available right now, as well as many free ones. So if you're wondering what games to buy someone, I would say don't buy them any games. The Quest 2 comes with some demos for you to try, including the big two, Beat Saber and Super Hot, which are both a lot of fun. Games don't come on discs or cartridges like they used to. They download directly onto the headsets. This means that when a Quest arrives, you don't have to worry about waiting for games to arrive in the post. You can browse the online store and buy and download any games that you want right then and there. So if you're buying for someone else, they can just look through the store and then just see what takes their fancy. So how good are the games? People often ask how good the graphics are on the Quest 2, and well, it very much varies. Due to the nature of VR, i.e. it's a screen magnified right in front of your eyes, for VR not to be blurry, it needs to have a really high resolution, and the Quest 2 is running close to 4K. Also, to help people not vomit in VR, it needs to push as many frames per second as possible. This is all on a processor that's designed for mobile devices like phones. Admittedly, it's a very very good processor, but it's still a phone processor. This means that whilst FPS and resolution of the games is pretty high in the Quest, the actual graphics like textures and model complexity can sometimes be a bit low. Also, if you are used to seeing 4K on a screen in front of you and you like that kind of resolution, 4K projected right in front of your face isn't going to look as high resolution as that does on the screen. However, if you ever experienced VR from a few years ago, what the Quest 2 is capable of right now is loads better than it was. So to combat the low complexity of the graphics, games are often stylized, and whilst they usually look really cool, some people who want to see more realistic graphics can get a bit disappointed. However, some games like the Vader Immortal series do have really good graphics, and actually most of the games available right now aren't really utilizing the power of the Quest 2. So over the next year, I do expect to see graphics improving quite a lot, as they often do throughout the lifetime of a console. Having said that, there are quite a few games that have really impressive graphics. Prices of games range from extremely cheap up to a maximum of around £30. Generally, cheap games are around £7.99, middling games are around £14.99, and then the more expensive games are usually around £22.99. So they're never that expensive. Part 8, you want 2 quests. So if you want 2 quests, do you have to buy all the games twice? Well, the good news is that there's a feature called app sharing, and here's how it works. Basically, if you put your main account onto 2 headsets, then onto one of those headsets you can add a secondary account of, let's say, your other half or your kid. Then when app sharing is enabled on that second headset, the secondary account will have access to the vast majority of your games as if they own them themselves. So then you can do multiplayer as if you both own the game. Now, if that secondary account owner gets their own headset, a third headset, they won't have all of those games since your main account won't be on that new headset. So basically, you can share all of your games to one other headset and enjoy the amazing experience that is multiplayer VR. Part 9, PC VR. So if you do have a gaming PC, you may have heard that you can actually plug the Quest into that PC to access a whole different library of games, such as the amazing Half-Life Alyx, which are designed to run on a PC powered headset. These types of games are often graphically much superior to what's available on the Quest due to the vastly increased processing power of the PC. The Quest 2 processor is not then utilised to run the games, it's the PC itself that is doing all the heavy lifting. To be able to do that, you'll either need a link cable, search Quest link cable on Amazon and you'll be able to see what the best options are near you. Oculus sell their own fibre optic cable for about £90, but you can get USB 3 cables a lot cheaper, and currently they offer pretty much the same performance. You can even stream games wirelessly from a PC using the inbuilt feature called AirLink that works really well, as long as you have a really good Wi-Fi connection that the PC is also connected directly to. And part 10, glasses and rashes. VR and the Quest 2 can absolutely be used by glasses wearers. I used my glasses for quite a long time with the Quest 2, but I did need 2 things. They were some lens bumpers I used from AMVR to prevent my glasses scratching the lenses, and also the fit pack from Oculus, since my glasses actually touched the sides of the sponge interface when they went in, so it wasn't perfectly comfortable. So the fit pack basically had a larger version of that sponge interface that my glasses could easily fit into. Nowadays though, I use lens inserts which are made by various different companies. Mine are from Vive. Basically you send your prescription and then they send you lenses to place over the top of the Quest 2 lenses, so you no longer need to wear your glasses. This also removes the need for the lens bumpers, since A, you're not using your glasses anymore, but also the rims that the lens is attached to will act like lens bumpers and protect your lenses too, if, for example, you were to lend your headset to someone else who needs to wear their glasses in VR. And you may have heard of reports of people getting nasty rashes from the Quest 2, and that is basically due to the scratchy sponge interface of the Quest 2 that affected a small percentage of users. The Quest now comes with a silicone cover to cover up that sponge interface, so rashes won't be an issue. I would recommend that you try the stock sponge first. If it's fine, then great. If not, then try the silicone cover. then if you don't like the silicone cover, think about purchasing a new facial interface, as sold by companies such as VRCover and Kiwi Design. They're a lot more comfortable and a lot more hygienic, since if you plan on exercising with the Quest, and the Quest and VR in general is fantastic for exercise, then the less cloth and sponge on your Quest, the better, since it will soak up all the sweat. I've made a video on the best facial interface, but spoiler alert, it's the fitness interface from VRCover. However, they come at different price points, so check out the video if you're looking to get one. And finally, a few reasons a Quest 2 may not be for you. I've already mentioned Facebook. If you cannot stand the thought of having a Facebook account, then avoid the Quest 2. But sadly, there aren't really any more alternatives when it comes to standalone VR without a Facebook account. If you want to get into VR without Facebook, then you'll have to buy a PC-based headset. But like I said, they will be removing this barrier at some point in the future, and I'm sure at some point they'll have a standalone VR system that isn't anything to do with Facebook. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be a lot more expensive. The other reason you might not be able to use a Quest 2 is your IPD, or interpupillary distance. Basically, it's the distance between your pupils. The Quest 2 has got 3 settings: 58mm, 63mm and 68mm. If yours is close to any of those numbers, then you should be okay. You can measure your own by simply getting a ruler and measuring the distance between your pupils, although that method is easier for someone else to do for you. There are IPD measuring phone apps too, though I've personally never used one. If your IPD is way below 58 or above 68, then you might struggle with eye strain or blurry images. For a much more in-depth analysis of whether the Quest 2 is for you, check out my 2 videos, 10 reasons to buy a Quest 2 and 10 reasons not to buy a Quest 2. Something else you might struggle with is motion sickness, which is when you're moving around in VR but not in real life, which confuses the brain and makes you feel ill. This is something that a lot of people get and can put a lot of people off VR. However, there are ways to combat it, and it does get better the more you play. So persevere and you will get your VR legs. I've made a video all about motion sickness in VR, so check that out if you think it might be an issue. So hopefully now you know what you're looking for if you want to buy a Quest 2 for yourself or someone else. Remember, if you're watching this video, then you're already in the right place, as Quest 2 accessories is our speciality, and I've put all the best ones to the test, as well as tested them out on Jess, my wife, to get more than one perspective. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, and if you want to keep up to date, don't forget to subscribe. I've been Al, thanks for watching the VR Cauldron and getting this far into the video. I hope very much that you do enjoy your journey into the world of virtual reality. So take care of yourselves, have a great Christmas, and I hope to see you next time. See ya!